And my name is Amy Doherty. I'm the board president of the National Youth Leadership Network. And for those who may not have heard of the National Youth Leadership Network, we're a group of young adults from across the country that work to break isolation and build community among youth with disabilities. And I grew up in a middle-class family in Connecticut. I was born legally blind and went to public school and graduated from a college and then moved to Boston. And my day job is doing research in a vision rehabilitation lab to test out and develop different devices to help people with vision impairments. And one of the things that I noticed in transitioning from, well, first of all, from high school to college was that once you're on your own, you lose a lot of your support system because you don't have, the people that had supported you right there with you. So you really do have the freedom to make your own decisions. And college actually provides a lot of that support, or can provide a lot of support for you. And then in transitioning from college to work in a whole new city, you pretty much are on your own with whatever skills you have developed. And hopefully I'm fortunate that I had a support system in my family, but you have to kind of find where you fit into the community and how you kind of how to fit yourself into a new community and how you want to be a part of that community. And it's can be really challenging. It can be very isolating. So I think an important piece is helping young adults build a support system and know, who should be in a support system, how can I get support, what community resources are there, and helping them navigate that challenge and finding out the best way to do that, whether it's through social media. I think social media definitely is a huge advantage. I know a lot of people that I know have met through meetup groups or various other online ways of just getting to know what's going on in the community. Another issue that I think is hugely important that's been mentioned quite a lot today is access to healthcare. Even with insurance, it's still hard to access healthcare. I think because the healthcare system is so complicated and you don't really learn in school how to navigate it. And as far as I'm aware, there's no training or curriculum to really help young adults in navigating that change from pediatric care to adult care. And even, how do you go about finding a doctor? How do you plan for what you might need to ask? How do you, how do you tell your doctor that, well, maybe this isn't the best, maybe I really don't want you to do this test, or, so self-advocacy plays a huge role in that. And I think part of self-advocacy training could, healthcare and the different questions in that could be incorporated into self-advocacy training. Another topic that I'm not sure has come up today, but that came to my mind was financial management. When I was, after college and even kind of in college, it's the first time that I personally had my own bank account. So how do I manage my bank account? They don't really teach you that in school. And long-term planning for what I'm going to want to retire someday. How do I make sure that I have money so I can do that? So I think that's a huge piece that that is missing somewhere along the line, whether that's young adulthood or whether that's earlier. I think teaching young adults how to manage their money, and perhaps that piece could be incorporated when we're telling them how much you know, how many calories these beers cost. Well, how much money are you spending, you know, when you buy your coffee every day? Yeah, that all adds up. Another thought that came to mind was in terms of safety, self-defense, making sure that young adults are prepared and know how to you know, defend themselves against anything that might occur. And specifically for youth with disabilities, I think that often gets overlooked. Or the self-defense training that's out there isn't specific to the needs that someone might have in terms of how to defend themselves. And I think the role that culture plays and kind of the role that the media plays in defining the culture would be an interesting thing to look at and see how that has changed. Perhaps some of these risky behaviors that young adults tend to be engaging in. You know, does that have an impact, and can we change the impact that it has to make it be a more positive one? So I'll stop there.